October, 691 years after the foundation of the city, there was born on the Palatine Hill a son to Gaius Octavius and Attia Balba Caesonia, a son whom they named Gaius Octavius Thurinus. He would come to be better known by the title the Senate awarded him in 27 BC, Augustus. Opinion about Augustus has always been severely divided and has changed constantly in Western history, from his own day and amongst later Roman historians to the Middle Ages to the Renaissance and today. For instance, Suetonius said, "Examples of his clemency and civility are many and great," whereas Seneca admitted that in old age Augustus was gentle and placable, but only after he had dyed the sea red with Roman blood. "Truly, I do not call it clemency, but exhausted cruelty," said Seneca. Late Roman and medieval Christians struggled hard to bring Augustus into the circle of Christian salvation, and so the myth of Augustus and the Tiburtine Sibyl was born. Dante, who was an unapologetic partisan of imperial power, referred to Augustus as the good Augustus, and it was no accident that Dante's guide through the underworld was the premier poet of the Augustan age, Virgil. But in the Renaissance, in the days of the Democratic Republic of Florence, before the coming of the Medici tyranny, one of her most noted chancellors, Caluccio Salutati, in his Epistolarium praised Cicero not as a philosopher, as was the custom in the Middle Ages, but as a defender of republican freedom and liberty. And Salutati sought to link Florence's history not to Augustus's imperial Rome, but to Cicero's democratic republic. And the most beloved of free Florence's chancellors, who succeeded Caluccio Salutati and earned for himself a burial in Florence's pantheon of esteemed citizens in the church of Santa Croce, that is Chancellor Leonardo Bruni, not only similarly praised Cicero, but in his history of the Florentine people, Bruni referred to Augustus as that nefarious triumvir and most cruel slaughterer, and he referred to Julius Caesar and Augustus as those plagues and destroyers of the Roman Republic. So, do we praise Augustus, who laid down the foundations of the Roman Empire, or do we condemn Augustus as the man who murdered the Roman Republic? The truth of the matter is that the foundation of the empire was being laid long before Augustus came to power, by men like Marius, Sulla, Pompey, Crassus, and Julius Caesar, the same men responsible for the slow, painful death of the Republic. By the time Augustus came to power, it was no longer a question of, can the Republic be brought back to life? The question was, who was going to feast on the carcass of the Republic? And the answer was Augustus. In these two lectures, I would like, first of all, to look at Augustus's rise to power from absolute obscurity, and secondly, to see how Augustus physically changed the city of Rome, making it the proverbial city of marble. It was Suetonius who said that Augustus could justly boast that he found it, Rome, built in brick and left it in marble.